You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans, Belinda from Soap Dirt. And we've got a surprise wedding on Bold this week. The bride's got no idea that she's about to walk down the aisle with family on hand. There's a Forrester family event, and it, is the first Forrester nuptials of 2024, but definitely not the last, I expect. All right. Brooke is not going to be happy if her daughter says I do. So let's look at what's coming this week and how this wedding that's coming could change things for Hope Logan and her mom and her boyfriend. But first, please click subscribe if you haven't already. So just off the bat, I want to address this. I did a video recently about who gets married first in 2024, and I did predict Donna and Eric would be one of the first, if not the first, to get hitched. And then the spoilers came out and bam, right on the money. So that's cool. Someone mentioned in the comments to me, one or two people have mentioned that Ridge called Brooke his wife on Thursday's episode. I didn't hear it when I watched it, and I went back and I watched all the Ridge scenes again. Somebody even told me a timestamp. I'm just not seeing it. But what I did look at, since I didn't hear the words, was I was looking at Ridge's left hand. No wedding ring. And then I was looking at other scenes last week where Brooke was at Hope's cabin, and I was looking at her hands. No engagement ring, no wedding band, no nothing. And looking back at their past weddings, they both always have rings that they wear. Okay. So just here's my opinion on them being married or not, and how I'm going to speak on this until Brad Bell says something different. So since their reunion in Italy, Brooke and Ridge have not gotten married that we have seen on the soap. They talked about wedding dresses a while back and then nothing more. And I think Carter said wife once. Someone said, I didn't hear that either. And someone said, Ridge said my wife this week. Again, I went back and looked, just didn't hear it. Maybe it was one of those just weird things. Somehow I missed it. I don't know. But until they actively confirm it on the show by mentioning it, putting on wedding rings, and they talk about when or where they got married, or that they celebrate an anniversary of this mysterious non-existent wedding, I'm just going to leave it as they're not married. That's my take on it. You can disagree with me. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. That's fine. Personally, I don't care if Brooke and Ridge are married or not, but Brad Bell's team of sloppy writers make mistakes. So just because they said wife doesn't mean they're married. So we'll see if they speak on it or if they show up with wedding bands. Maybe at some point, Brad Bell and his sloppy writers will figure out what they've done and try and clean it up. We'll see. Otherwise, to me, this is just one of so many mistakes that they've made, misspeaking facts when we know otherwise from history. So back to what I really wanted to talk about, Donna Logan's wedding and how it might affect Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester's relationship and Brooke Logan, Ridge, and others. So right now, we just saw Thomas re-propose to Hope all over again. And again, she told him, look, I need time. I'm glad she's sticking to her guns because, when you tell a man to wait. He should wait. He should give you that breathing room. That's respectful. And I don't think he's trying to disrespect her. I just think he's so eager to have her be his wife, And I don't think Hope is playing games with him. I don't think she's using him. I just think she wants to be sure. She's made many mistakes with love in the past, like forgiving Liam's slimy waffling again and again and again. I mean, most women would be gun shy after years of basically being gaslit like that. I do think she's falling for Thomas, but I think it's a complicated issue for her, and she's not taking it lightly. She doesn't want to make a mistake for herself, for the kids, for Thomas either. So spoilers for the week of February 5th have Eric deciding to host another big bash at his house. The last big party, of course, wound up with him on life support. So this one is going to be a little less dramatic like that, a little less medically dramatic, because Eric is aiming for drama with his big secret plan that everybody sees next week. The party is about his new lease on life and what's next. And what's next for Eric is him getting himself a wife. Donna Logan has more than proved her loyalty, so it's very sweet. Eric proposes to her at the party in front of friends and family, and then marries her on the spot at the shindig. So I'm assuming he's taking care of all the little niceties like music and cake, champagne, an officiant, wedding rings, and hopefully a bouquet for Donna to hold. So I really, really hope that there's flowers, because I want Donna to throw the bouquet so we can see where it lands, in whose hands, and what reaction it causes. And I'm interested to see if Ridge or Brooke mention their off-screen wedding at Eric's impromptu nuptials. That would be the perfect time. If Brad Bell has decided to skip showing a wedding and just wants them to be married, that would be the time to confirm it. Remember that wedding we had? Remember when we flew to Vegas 2 months? Something like that, you know? If Brad Bell wants to present them as a married couple, he needs to have a specific mention of their wedding and not some casual one-off wife remark when we know how sloppy he is. And Brooke's been Ridge's wife many times before. So if they do have a bouquet and it's thrown, which I hope they do and it is, Brooke catching it would be meh. I don't think anybody cares that much about that. Katie Logan catching the bouquet, though, could be fun. We know how much Carter Walton loves to propose marriage to women. He's done it so many times before, usually way too early in the relationship. So for Carter, you know, man, he's exercised a lot of self-control by not proposing to Katie already at this point. I don't know if Luna is going to be there as RJ Forster's plus one. I assume so, but it didn't specifically mention it in the spoilers, but Eric does like her. Her catching the bouquet would be weird. And I don't think we need that, because we have got enough of RJ and Luna already, because they're on almost every freaking single episode. To quote Mean Girls, Brad Bell needs to stop trying to make fetch happen with them. So what I think would be fantastic is if Donna turns her back like you're supposed to do, tosses the bouquet up over her head, and without even trying, it just smacks Hope right in the face or the chest or the lap if, you know, she's sitting or standing. Or if Thomas catches it, either one, Thomas or Hope, either one catching the bouquet would be great, because the look on Brooke's face would be priceless. Now, if Hope catches it, Thomas would probably see it as a sign that they definitely are going to get married soon. And if Thomas catches it, probably the same thing. If Thomas or Hope, either one, catch it, Brooke would probably see it as a sign of the apocalypse, a sign that she needs to push Thomas off a cliff again, but harder this time and from a higher cliff, you know. Then again, if that bouquet comes flying Hope's way, I could also totally picture Finn throwing himself in front of it like a linebacker or whoever those football people are that block things, because I don't watch football. Can you tell? I watch European football, soccer. I don't watch American football, so I don't know what you would call that. Pass interference, something like that. I could see Finn trying to knock those flowers off their path so they don't get close to Hope. Could you even imagine that? Steffi doesn't want Thomas with Hope either, but she doesn't like her husband and his protecting Hope stuff that he keeps saying. Last week, she rolled her eyes behind his back when he brought up stuff Thomas has done to Hope. And Ridge actually lashed out at him a little, saying, forget the past. And both of them basically chastised Finn and reminded him that Thomas has worked hard to make changes. But still, you know, Finn and Brooke would both freak if the bouquet came Hope's way. Brooke might even beat Finn to the punch and body slam that bouquet to the floor, stomp it to make sure Hope Logan's hands don't touch it. That would be some soapy drama I'd like to see. However, that's not the kind of thing Bold usually does. Days of Our Lives, somebody would set that bouquet on fire if they didn't want anybody to catch it. But Bold, you know, they have a way of kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, dropping the ball and kind of delivering lackluster outcomes instead of a big climax when they build up to what should be an epic confrontation. We'll see how it goes at the wedding. Let me know if you're excited to see Donna and Eric get hitched this week. I think it'll be sweet, and maybe she'll see her face up over the fireplace soon. Hey, drop your comments. Please click subscribe if you haven't, and definitely come back soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, talking B&B with you guys 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.